They have vitamin D in the formula if you want. You can order the CoQ with the full B complex without vitamin D. If you're already getting enough vitamin D and don't need it, we also have it with 1,000 vitamin D3 or 2,000 vitamin D3. The price is the same across the board, so you're basically getting, you know, free vitamin D depending on how much you want in the formula. And then everybody gets a full B complex as well, along with vitamin C. Fabulous value. That's coming up at midnight. You're welcome to get an early start on that to beat the rush, because we will be busy. This is the biggest visit of the year. It's Andrew's anniversary, so we always get excited because CoQ is one of your top sellers.
And by the way, despite all those ingredients in the capsule, because our capsules are 100% additive free, no binders or fillers or anything added into the formula, it's still a small, easy to swallow capsule. You won't find a single review out of the thousands that talks about it being hard to swallow. But in an hour, we'll talk about that more at length. What we want to talk about now is cinnamon, which cinnamon was a product that for decades, I've been doing this too long, I guess 39 years, for decades I was asked for an ingredient that could help support healthy blood sugar metabolism, healthy insulin metabolism. And of course, the best things we do for that are modifying our diet, you know, being at our ideal weight, being active. But in terms of a supplement, there wasn't really a specific ingredient I could recommend. I could talk about how the role that B complex plays or that chromium might play, but nothing specific until the research on cinnamon bark extract. And that was, the research really started rolling in about a decade or so ago. We introduced this product about 5 or 6 years ago because we tend to be patient. We review the research, we review all the different sources, and we make sure that we can make the best product possible. And if you look at the reviews on this product, like CoQ10, I think the reviews on this product are about 95% positive reviews. I think is it at 4.5, 4.6? Yeah,
there's 660
4.7
reviews out of the 660. Over 550 are perfect 5. And then if you add the 4-star in, you are well over, you're at about, gosh, I mean,
so about
all but 50 reviews are excellent.
So about 85% are 5-star review and probably about 10% are 4 stars.
And so what's nice here, it is anniversary priced. You do a 30, a 60, a 120, or the 240.
Already inexpensive, and at anniversary pricing, it's very inexpensive.
Exactly, and the best part about it is that the minute you start taking this for the first time, people fall in love with this. When you read the reviews, you will see. I mean, there are hundreds of perfect reviews on this, so you will understand. But the great thing about it, there's so many incredible health benefits to cinnamon. It's one of our family's favorites. And this is, again, standardized cinnamon bark extract. There's a big difference between the cinnamon you're sprinkling to make cinnamon toast and the cinnamon you're getting in this product. However, if you open the capsule and sprinkle it into your oatmeal or into a smoothie, it's very pungent. It has this wonderful, very cinnamony fragrance. So you will notice that right away. But the health benefits are fantastic. So if you or somebody in your family is looking to maintain healthy blood sugar levels, for example, that's one of the main reasons a lot of people go to the cinnamon. And then on top of that, it's just a powerful antioxidant. And there's so many other great health benefits as well. What I think is fun is when you do take a minute to read the reviews, people rave. In fact, virtually every single Andrew Lessman product is a customer pick on hsn.com.
I think they might all be, yes.
Yes, every single one of your products. And it's funny, if they weren't, you would change it.
Well, I mean, and frankly, at times, my meal replacement originally was not a customer pick. And we went back to the drawing board. That was a number of years ago, but I look at customer reviews as not criticism. Well, if I do, it's constructive criticism. It's telling me what I need to do to make a product better. If I don't have a product that's well reviewed, it's basically telling me I shouldn't be making that product. Unlike others, we actually make all of the products. We're responsible for every ingredient. We're responsible for how it's put together. So we're responsible. So it's up to me. If the reviews aren't positive, it's up to me to make the product better. And when it comes to a product like this, or how we go about making all our products, because we don't use additives, the only thing that becomes important in our product is the only thing that should be important, which is the active ingredient. Unfortunately, virtually every other brand of supplements in the world, every medicine in the world, they put additives in, excipients, other ingredients. They'll even coat tablets with sweet ingredients so the tablet tastes better while it's in your mouth. They'll put pretty colors because they think that's what you want to see. Ours is a capsule. If you look at this capsule, the only thing you find in this capsule is our cinnamon bark extract that was validated, tested to be standardized for the ingredient that delivers the benefits that you seek when you take cinnamon bark extract. You could read the reviews on this product. And if we talk about, in fact, a lot of folks talk about when they test their blood sugar, they talk about fasting blood sugar. What I always recommend, and more people have become aware of this, I've been talking about this for decades, it's testing their A1C. When you test your fasting blood sugar, you're just getting some insight at that moment in time what your blood sugar was. And oftentimes, things could be going on at the moment, whatever you might have eaten the night before, even if you're still fasting in the morning, could have an impact on that number. That's why for me and for your doctor, A1C has become so much more relevant. A1C is more giving you a sense of what your blood sugar has been over the past couple of months, which is much more meaningful, much more insightful. And what I like about the charts that I now see, when you look at the reviews now, people are talking about their A1C. They're not just talking about their fasting blood sugar number, which when I was in school, everything was all about the fasting blood sugar number.
Interesting.
But now we understand that A1C gives us a much more relevant and meaningful way to monitor our blood sugar. And I'm sure that's what you're doing, and hopefully you're doing with your doctor.
Absolutely. Okay, if you're ordering yours, again, you pick the size you'd like. We have the Try Me sizes. I love that everything's anniversary price for you. So if you want to give it a try, you have a 30 count. If you want to stock up, you have a 240 cap size. It's so affordable for what you're getting. It's interesting, this ingredient, because cinnamon has been around for literally thousands of years, right?
As a spice, but
right.
Still, if you look at traditional medicine, cinnamon had attributed to it all sorts of benefits, metabolic benefits. So it's fascinating. We'll talk about cranberry next weekend. It's fascinating how many botanicals that have been traditionally viewed as important, and I think it was Native Americans originally with cranberry, that eventually science ultimately validates those traditional benefits. I'm just going to read a couple of reviews quickly. And if we just look at this, and again, this is not a drug or medicine. It's just another tool that helps support our body in the fashion that perhaps our body composition, our diet, our lifestyle might not be giving us the support we need. But amazing. My husband started taking these almost 3 months ago. In that short amount of time, his A1C number has improved. His doctor is thrilled and asked what he's doing to get such good results. He told him the only change he's made is taking the Cinnamon 350. His doctor told him to keep it up. Now he'll never go without.
It's great.
Working great. I've been taking 1 capsule per day. I have no problems with digestion. And by the way, cinnamon can, with some cinnamon products can, mine does not. You could read the reviews. I'm an overall healthy person. My last blood sugar test was much better than the previous one. I'd not lost weight, so the only thing I could attribute this to would be the cinnamon capsules. My doctor said to keep on taking them. I'm very pleased with the product. And that's what's great when you partner with your doctor, rather than, we shouldn't be sort of victims of our health or victims of medicine or pharmaceutical companies. We should really try to partner and be informed, and that's why the thing I try to do most is to try to provide information that would empower you to understand what's going on in your body better and to hopefully make better decisions, because this is the only life we get, and we should do things, we should eat, we should think about things as though our life depends on it. Because it really does. So all of these little decisions are actually consequential when it comes to our health.
And one other product that also helps to support healthy blood sugar levels and metabolism is berberine. And so these work